Hi guys, welcome to Nighttime Out podcast. This is your host Dima and your second not so favorite host Jess here as well. And we are back after a week, I would say. I hope it has just been a week only. All right. So,
So, so, Dima. Okay, today what are we going to talk about?
we're going to talk about the struggles of starting a podcast, the journey that we have been through, and you know, what were the challenges and the mountains we climbed. And
Wow,
yeah, I'm like putting using big words here, yeah,
big words
but
today.
yeah, but to begin with, I just want to tell you that we started thinking about launching a podcast on January of this year.
Yes. Well, okay. At that point, it was just
An idea.
ideas, right? Yes, an
Mhm.
idea. And it wasn't like obviously a planned out thing because we literally it was right after we talked on Zoom. And then we were just in the passion of like, oh my god, let's start podcast.
Yes,
That's such a
yes,
good
yes.
idea.
And the timeline was also so tight back then. Remember, like what we did was we created an Excel sheet and we were like, okay, we're gonna launch a
Yeah.
podcast by this, we're gonna finish all the editing by this, we're gonna get our things
Oh,
together by this time.
oh
And
yeah.
I think that Excel sheet is in the trash now. Are we
Oh
even
yeah, for
using it?
sure. Oh, for
Like,
sure, it's gone. I mean,
Mhm.
we were so passionate. We were so passionate, and then we didn't think out of like how much work it would actually come about instead of like simply just, oh, we're gonna record on this day, edit, post. It's gonna be easy, it's gonna be fast. Oh my god, if only we knew the truth now. It's literally by the time we are recording this is in early June, so 6 months, about 6 months of like just
Mhm.
brewing our ideas, making, tweaking, and then you know I think, how do you feel like we finally launched our podcast? Like,
You know, okay, I don't know if you remember this or not,
huh?
but when we were first discussion on launching and releasing our episodes, we
Yeah.
actually told each other, on the day we release our episode, let's video chat and celebrate it. But
Oh
on
yeah.
that
Oh
day,
yeah.
but we did not do any of those things. Like on the day I launched, I was just like, oh, yo, should I launch an FV as well? She was like, yeah, okay, maybe okay, that's cool. And I was like, okay, let's launch it on FV as well. So it was just like we didn't even chat. We didn't even like send each other message saying, "Oh, guys, we did it! Finally we released our episode." It was more of like, okay, just get over it. It's done. It was supposed to be your task. Don't ask me questions. Go do it.
Stupid. Ah, yeah, I totally forgot about it. Honestly, I forgot about it. But like, I mean, a few weeks before that, I think we did sort of meet up and talked about it. But afterwards, it became like, okay, the reason it became that way to this point is because we kept putting it off. All right,
Mhm,
we kept
mhm.
putting it off for weeks and weeks and weeks, and then like finally when when it's already here, we already got everything. It just just do it, just post it. It doesn't matter anymore. This-
Like, I've heard this for so long. Come on, let's just
yes,
get it out, kind
yes,
of
just
thing.
get it out. It's fine. We need to launch it now. Like finally, we need to get this done. So I think we face a lot of technical difficulties and things that we might not do now. I think one of the things, right, is very funny that we thought that we were able to actually film ourselves while making the podcast.
Oh my god. Oh my
Do you
god.
remember that?
Oh my God. I'm like so embarrassed when I think about it. It was so awkward. It was so awkward. Oh my God.
Yeah, incredible. Oh my god. You know how like last time we actually tried using Skype, I think to try to
We tried
like
Skype, we tried
yeah.
Zoom, we tried so many things.
Yeah,
We even
yeah. And then
tried like yeah, we even tried adding this what thing, this app called Droid Cam or something like that that links
yeah.
links your laptop to your phone camera. So
Yeah.
we were so much creative back then to
So
make
much
it
effort.
work. Yeah,
Yeah, so
literally.
much effort. Like I remember that like I forgot. So like I still have this like test video that you sent me from last time, And I mistakenly like clicked on it like the other day thinking like, "Oh, what is this video?" And then that video of
And
us like two
mhm.
awkward beings trying to like speak naturally in quotes, naturally on on camera, and then it's just like so awkward because you can tell how nervous we are. We sound so robotic, and now
Yeah.
looking back it's just so embarrassing. It's hilarious, and I look so different, and I
She
had the
put
blonde
so
hair.
much of makeup. She
Yeah,
was
oh
like,
my god, we both put on makeup. Okay, don't put
no,
on,
no, no,
don't
no,
say it
no,
about me.
no, Sika, you put
uh,
on makeup. I tried to put on makeup.
yeah.
It was like, it looked horrible. Like, it looked like my eyes were swollen. So, I don't know what I did. So, yeah, but it didn't work. So, I would say it was a trial for me. More like, yeah, yes, he put effort. Okay, a consolation there.
That was definitely a fail attempt because we I think we set up right, like trying to figure out our camera, our equipment and things like that. I think it took us like an hour and a half, and then
I, hmm.
when we got started it was like 15 minutes, and then we're like, no, we can't do this.
Oh, literally.
Yeah, it was so embarrassing. I was like, oh, why do we speak like we don't know how to speak, we
Yeah,
didn't know.
and
uh,
it wasn't a natural self, I would say. Like currently we are very relaxed and in my pajamas, no makeup on, yo girl
yeah.
in a knotted braid there, bun there, right there.
Yes.
We're
No
like so.
shower yet.
No, I just showered, so no, I'm don't bring me in there. Don't pull me into that. Yeah, but
Okay, okay, and then
yeah, so it was so unnatural. So I don't think if we ever went through that, if we went through that route, I don't think we would ever really fulfill the mission that fulfill the mission or the
yeah.
objective that we really started with. Because
Yeah,
we were
I
so
think
fake, like
yeah,
plastic.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, I
Mm.
agree. Like I think we would have stopped like trying like afterwards cuz I don't think we could do it though cuz we were so awkward. And then right, we finally like talked to ourselves, like we got real and said like, okay, let's just do audio. But even then, right, if you compare it to our episode now to our first episode, there's such a huge difference in how we speak. Because at this
Yes.
point, I think
Mhm.
we are very comfortable, right?
I wouldn't say very, but yeah, getting comfortable, getting comfortable.
Am I getting too comfortable?
Oh, I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mhm.
Like and then right, I think there is definitely a difference in how we record our audio now.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because before we tried using an app, and I mean it worked, but then because of like the video call and how internet works, there is always delay or like some
Mhm.
weird like glitch that happens,
Mhm.
and that's annoying. But now I think we are good for now. Let's see in like a few
Yeah.
episodes later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We really scratched out all those complex stuffs out of the picture. We went old
Mm.
school and we just recording using our own device, and later we just gonna stitch it together. Cause
Yeah.
Like, I'm not sure if you heard our first episode or not, but we are literally broke graduates. So we didn't spend money on really good high quality apps and all. So that's probably maybe in the future. But yeah, for now, we were just going with all those free applications in the web. And yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that didn't work out at all. The sound quality was so, I wouldn't say very poor, but it
Mm-hmm.
just didn't bring the best of what we could do. I felt
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We
And
could. Mhm.
okay. I see. All right. Another thing is like we do this recordings, right, on through video call. So we are not, stationed in like a same room in the same place that we can just talk
Mhm.
right, like side by side. So there is some challenges in that as well. Cause so yeah, like I think there's things about that as well. Like it's either our Wi-Fi didn't work, or at some point Dima's side is like her her power just cut off completely, and that is just it happens, and then we have to
Yeah.
find like solutions for this as well.
Yeah. Like I live in third world country, guys. So it's so funny because like she's talking halfway and suddenly the power is out and then she only can see my ghastly face
Oh
because right before the power is out, like just that,
yeah.
like very, I don't know what happened. It looks very
Yeah,
ghastly.
I thought like you died or something. Like it's just like disappeared, and then it's just like your face in white, and then it's just like a what do you call it, like a screenshot of your face, and it was just shocking. I was like, whoa, Tima. And then she's just gone. Like it's just literally gone. uh, so yeah, that's like a few things like we kind of like had to work through. And then I think another thing is like we had a lot of ideas. Like we had so many ideas on what we're gonna talk about. Like we want to go into like cultural experiences, like li- like okay, like li- living in a foreign country and like what we experience, stereotypes and difficulties that we like have have experience on us, or I wanted to talk to about like folklore stories, like ghost stories or things like that as well. But I think we were a bit too ambitious. Like another thing is
Ooh.
the design in all this. Like right now we kind of have a chill vibe. That's our goal, at least, for our podcast at the moment. That we want to have a chill vibe that you can just listen at night while you're winding down. But before, like I had a lot of ideas because I was the one that created all the designs and all the artwork that you see on our pages. Not to brag,
Flexing.
okay.
Flexing.
Yes, I did all the work. Yes. So okay, okay. So before it was like how I envisioned was more of like a
Oh
80s
yeah.
style, like retro style design. Yeah. I still have it though. I still have it like saved.
Still have it at the
But
archives
I don't think it's gonna,
there. Uh-huh.
yeah, it's gonna be, I think it's gonna stay out there
Mhm.
quite long. But
And Tima swooped in and said,
like
no,
I
cannot, no
went,
80s.
yeah. Yeah. Dima went in like it's like nope, 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 nope. Rejected all of it. It's like, yeah, makes sense. But it made sense. Like like how I imagined it before, it was like a 80s retro vibe with neon lights and buildings and all this like
Hmm.
sparkly
We,
like
we, we
things,
we
like
try
all
we
that
try to make it work. We
extravagant
try
thing.
to make it work. We tried different font and everything, but it just didn't look right. Didn't give that vibe we wanted to bring.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had to
Yeah,
scratch that out.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, and then we like simplified it, and then now you see it. Now you see
Yeah.
the outcome that we have on our design now. I think we like it quite
Mm-hmm.
a lot. Like we are satisfied in now. Like especially, who knows? Like in the second season, maybe we'll change it up. Who knows?
Yes, she
But
still has her archives in the back, so I'm pretty sure she's gonna bring it out someday and say, "Let's give it a new look. Let's try."
yeah,
The
you
reason
read
she
my
still
mind.
has it
I
in the
think I'm gonna do
archive
that
is
like
because
in the
of that.
future. Yeah, yeah. Because like we could do like teams or something. Like every month we can make a new team. But I think it was like too ambitious. I think at this point we're just gonna do like simplify the whole thing. It will be like the same design and all. So yeah,
That was your end. So I think
you
my end,
yeah.
what is something that really wrecked my mind when I started was I think the editing
Mm-hmm.
part. Like we
Um.
had a lot of filler words, and
Yes.
I am a perfectionist. So me being me, I wanted to remove all those filler words. Then I think I told Sika that, yo, my ears are bleeding. I can't do this anymore. Why are we talking like this? I want to go to the past and strangle ourselves because it's so many words like okay, well, like I was like, oh my god.
You just use like
Yeah,
like.
I literally use it right now, but trust me, back then we used a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I really went to each one of those in the first episode, and I removed as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole process was so daunting. Mm, when we started recording the second episode, I told her, no, we're not gonna use this kind of words anymore. Let's be extra careful because it really stretched out the editing end. And yeah, and also I don't think if we keep that habit going on, it wouldn't make our podcast very smooth, very soothing to listen to, because
Mm.
it's gonna be like a lot of like a bumps here and there, you know.
Yeah,
So yeah, I
I
think we
agree.
have improved in that area for now. I
Yeah,
mean,
I think yeah,
there hasn't been a big jump, but we have definitely reduced the use of filler words now.
yeah, definitely. Like if you compare our first episode, right? We I just remember you saying "Oh my God" 3 times in like the same sentence, you know. So I think it's also us, like our nerves. Like we were so we try to say like we're not nervous, but I think we were quite nervous in the first episode, and that's why we used a lot more filler words.
It's so funny because that was us in the first episode, and I think on the third episode or something like that, Sika was drunk. No, not drunk, but tipsy. Was it like second or third one?
Oh yeah, second. It's which is like it should be out by now. Like it's okay. If you haven't checked it out, please check that out. We talked about a book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is pretty popular. But we gave our opinions on that book, and okay, on that day, I don't know why I decided to drink, but I decided to drink. And I'm not a heavyweight or anything, you know. I just drank like it was a what do you call that? Like it was a okay light alcohol drink lah, light alcohol drink, and it wasn't high in percentage of alcohol at all. But I'm
Tolerance
like
is super low.
yeah, my tolerance is super low. Yeah, especially like so I definitely stumbled like on my words, but I think Tima did a good job in like cutting certain parts out so I wouldn't sound drunk. But I definitely was drunk. Like nearing the end of the recording, I definitely my brain was like I can't function anymore. I don't know what I'm saying. I can't form words. Like it was pretty bad, but but Tima did a good job in editing, so it doesn't sound bad. It doesn't sound like I'm tipsy, but yeah, that's one of the behind the scenes of the episodes that we did.
It was memorable, I would say, for
I
me.
bet.
It was so memorable. Yeah. Yeah. I want to drink and do it
Oh,
someday too.
maybe we could do that. Like I feel like it could be chill, like wine with us, drink with us episode. Yeah.
Wine with
Uh,
us.
like
I like it. Like, we could just do it in the evening after we're done with
yeah.
work, and just like a beer and
Yeah.
ice cold beer.
Sounds nice.
So good.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So another thing. Okay. So I think we talked about a lot of things that we had to do to get us to this point, but what do you think has been like the pivotal part that has helped us in launching this?
Pivotal part, you say? I don't remember any pivotal parts. I think one thing was setting a deadline. Because we were being too nice to each other. I remember like sometimes I would be out of the picture, then Sika used to be like, "Oh, it's okay. I understand. Come back. You do your thing and you come back." And sometimes Sika used to be out of the picture, then I'm like, "It's okay. You go there, you go do your thing, and then you come back." So I think we were too kind of too understanding with each other, and there was certain point we're like, okay, so when will we actually launch this? And we kept on saying, okay, let's launch it on April, or
Mm.
let's launch it on May, but it wasn't working out. We want something more specific. So we set a date. Okay, this is when we're gonna launch it. Uh, we gotta finish everything by this. And yeah, so that was a pivotal moment to really start off the podcast, I would say. Yeah, for me was that. What about you?
For me, a huge part is like planning in advance. Like I think we underestimate like how much planning again that has come to this, because uh like the problem that I saw is like when we record an episode, like we don't have, because okay, in our defense, we were still like very new to recording and talking about like our topics. But for me, I noticed that it was very hard for me to form like the words that I need to use like at that point, like just say it out loud. That I can't do that as well. So now at this point, like I learn to plan things out, have questions ready, or have like certain things we want to talk about, so we can, so at least I can form the right words and the right thoughts. So I think that helped us a lot.
Definitely.
And
Hmm.
another thing, right, is the Anchor app. I mean, we're not sponsored by them, but like hopefully in the future maybe. But the Anchor app actually helped us a lot in like having it published on Spotify and all other channels. So if you're planning, if anyone's listening, if you're planning to want to launch an podcast, because like at this moment, like everyone has a podcast, so if you want to launch a podcast, you can try the Anchor app.
It's funny how you say if anyone's listening. I know, Sika,
Okay,
we're not there
I
yet.
know,
I know, Sika,
right?
we're not there yet, but it sounds so funny the way you put it out.
Okay, because like okay, literally at this moment, like we have no one listening. Where we just launched our first episode, we're launching our like second episode soon. So so at this point there's nobody, okay. So that's why I'm saying it that way. But yeah, that's what helped us a lot. Um, Another thing is like we stopped making excuses. Like we just had to stop
Yeah.
procrastinating and just do it, right?
It felt like I was doing back in school doing assignment, because when you have
Yeah.
set a deadline for yourself, or when you have a deadline for assignments and you're in the last moment but you're like pushing yourself through, like, oh, I gotta send it in, I gotta send it in. That's what happened to me when editing. I'm just like, we have a deadline. I felt like I was like back in uni doing the assignment and sending it in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a funny experience.
For the stress that it caused, at least at this point that we have launched it, okay, it has pressured us to complete our goal, right? Which I think is considered a win, right? Another thing, right?
It is a
Yeah,
win, it
yeah.
is a
Yes, it
win.
is a win. Another thing, right? We we have to realize that we are even though we're quite young, okay, we're in our early 20s, but we have very bad memory loss. Like we just like, I think it's like us getting old, could be us getting older or whatnot, but we don't remember things as well as we used to. So
Mm-hmm.
that actually
Mm-hmm.
caused like a few problems, because for our third episode where we talked about it's okay to not be okay, check it out on our channel. um we actually had to re-record it our second time, because the first recording we were just all over the place and the episode just didn't sound as
And
well. Yeah.
and then halfway,
Mm.
for like 15 minutes, we started discussing about a different drama. It was when I was editing, I was like, okay, then I skipped 5 minutes forward. And I was like, oh, we're still talking about this. Then 10 minutes forward, we are still talking about this. Then after that, like, this part where we left off the actual podcast topic, and then the later part when we started coming back to the topic again, it wasn't
Mm.
stitching well together at all.
Yeah, it
We
wasn't.
tried a lot. We deleted some words, but it wasn't stitching well at all. Then we just thought, okay, no, no, this is not something we want to present to the world. Let's
Mm.
just redo this whole thing again. It's okay. Looking back at how we had struggled this during this whole time,
Mm-hmm.
what was something you felt like, mm, this is bullshit. I don't want to do this anymore. So, was there any period that you felt like that?
um I think I think I felt that way when we were recording. Like, cuz okay, I was struggling with forming my words properly. So I was like, I don't want to swear. So I was like, fudge this. I don't want to do this anymore. But then, like, you know, Tima came through those episodes. So now I'm learning. Like, I think now I'm getting a bit better in like doing this. Uh, I wouldn't say I'm the best at, but I think it's a little bit of improvement. I think. Another thing is
Mm-hmm.
like I was fed up with the like the no direction that we had. Like I feel like
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
was uh like you have to okay. A little fact about me is like I like to have things quite organized to say the least. Like I
Mm-hmm.
have to have some sort of
Like,
structure.
you like
Yeah.
structures. You want structures. Okay, where are we heading? What are we doing? Those kind of
Yes,
things.
yes. So
Mm-hmm.
like I finally like at this point I think I have that satisfaction now. Like because we finally talked it out and we have a goal at least on how many
Mm-hmm.
episodes we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna do, what topics we're gonna do, and that that is giving me much more relief, because before I was like a bit stressful on
Mm-hmm.
like I have to think like, oh, what episode should we do, like should it be like a soul reflection, or like should we do a book, or should we do a movie, like we had no direction. But now like we have some sort of direction, and we have some planning and schedule properly,
Mm-hmm.
that it gives me, I guess, like my a joy that I feel like, yes, like we have direction. My organization side is like, yes, okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you? Like, do you have anything new?
Oh, I definitely do as well. I think for me it was at that point of life. What am I saying? Point of life sounds so sounds so like as if it was like 10 years back. Yeah, it got
Damn, she
when I was 10
right.
years
Just like
old or when I was
when
20
I
years old, kind of thing.
okay, sorry.
Okay. Coming back to this, I think for me, uh, there was a certain point
Mm,
during this period where my commitments were a bit haywire. Uh, because
mm,
I was still on my probation in work, and I would, as much I don't want to like, there was a slight pressure there when I was nearing the probation period, for me at least. So it was a self developed pressure, I would say, to do better there. And then during the same time, like
mm,
family wise also, there were things happening, and there were also and then I also like joined this uh,
yeah,
new youth group that was directly working for COVID related things, which I had always wanted to join and all. And there was certain time
yeah,
where I think when everything came together, I was like, ah. There was no planning, there was no structure there, and because everything was impromptu, the family thing is always impromptu. The volunteer thing also wasn't a solid group back then, so things were more impromptu there as well. And yeah, we were also very impromptu, so I think that is why my schedule was
mm,
off, the planning wasn't there, and everything is like yeah, trying to balance like three or four plates in one hand kind of thing, if you want to visualize that way. Yeah, so that was the time I was like, okay, I want a break kind of thing. But sadly, that was the time where I
yeah,
couldn't take a break from literally anything. So at that point, I was like, oh my God,
mm,
I just want everything to go away kind of thing. Yeah. But, and then, yeah, I was just thinking about this also, like when we were having this conversation, I think Sika, yeah, like what she said, she's more structured person. But for me, I am not as structured as her. I'm structured in certain points when it comes to group settings, like larger than two people setting, where communication
yeah,
is more complicated. But when it's a pure work or when it's just a single person doing thing, I like keeping flexibility in. So I think we were still matching our styles together. I think
mm,
there was a certain point, I guess. Hmm.
yeah. A little bit, but like I mean, okay, we work well in like conversation where we have a lot of
Hmm.
common interests and stuff like that, right? I think we can connect that way, and we both are really understanding in our situation. But I do remember that point. Like I know she has like a lot of things on her plate. So I tried not to pressure you, okay? I tried
Hmm.
not to pressure you, but like I'm just thinking,
Hmm.
like but like you have to understand, like I was getting a bit like anxious because we were not progressing, so yeah, so
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
but then yeah.
I'm pretty sure at that time you felt like I was not prioritizing and putting enough efforts, or you maybe perhaps felt like,
Yeah,
why is he doing this
yes,
again? We just discussed this in first episode and she's doing this
Exactly.
again.
Like okay, it's not like, like I have seen this um Tima before, I have seen, yeah, it
Happened
happened
before. Yeah,
before.
it's deja
Yeah.
vu.
So I was like, oh my gosh, she's doing this all over again. I was like, what is she doing? But then I get it, like sometimes you can't control this type of thing, and then life just happened, and then everything just crumbles altogether lah. But at this point, like I'm beginning to see her get her life back a little bit better now. Yes,
Oh yeah,
yeah.
definitely. Definitely. Because everything is more set in stone now.
Mm.
Like my work, it's I passed my probation.
Yay.
Yeah, so there isn't. I mean, yeah, it's getting better
Yeah.
there as well on that end as well. And yeah, is now I have more experience, so in work wise as well, I'm not struggling as much, I would say.
Mm.
And yeah, and then the youth group also that I joined are more structured now, they're more set in
Mm.
stone, so that's getting better and we're set in stone. So now I have a really good night's sleep and everything is on time and I'm like
Yay,
happy.
and now I'm happy. uh, so yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, we did. There was a little bump in our road. I hope, yes, but I
Hmm.
think, yeah, we're doing much better now, and she's
Mm.
like doing much better in her life as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think yeah, the whole key was I think the whole key was understanding where the other person is
Yeah.
coming from. Because from my point of view, I can understand why Sika is feeling that way and what can I do on my
Mm-mm.
end at this situation to make it
Mm-hmm.
better. And I think C also was like I can see she was almost over the edge once.
A little bit, a
But
little
she
bit.
didn't she didn't tip off. She was like calm down
Yeah.
and she was like okay, she was being very mature and understanding of what is happening as well. So I think that you need that mutual understanding among each other and
Yeah.
need to have that mindset that okay, I have your back, do you have mine, kind of thing.
Yes, always, baby. It's always. I'll always have your back. Oh
Well,
my.
the way you say it, I kind of visualize it as you just taking my spine cord away, kind of thing.
Really.
And like, yeah, I got it back, babe.
Literally. Yeah. I
Yeah,
think, yeah.
yeah, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
We have reached a level of friendship that we have achieved like a new level. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
but yeah, I don't know. What do you want to say?
Having difficulty forming your
Yes, a
words.
little bit, a little bit. Don't expose me
All
like
right.
this.
We did talk about the pivotal part, and we did talk about things that we struggled and how we overcame that during the process. But how about, was there something that made you truly happy when you were doing?
For me, it's like, okay, I love the designing part. Like I love
Mm.
making all the designs and everything artsy, like everything lah. So that was super fun for me because I get to be creative because I love being, I love doing creative
Design
things. So
stuffs, right?
yeah, yeah. So I love that part. And another thing is the organizing. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. If you don't do it, it's fine. Like I enjoy, I do enjoy it, but it's just like, um, sometimes it does get a bit overwhelming, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
cause when you plan some things, you try to stick with it, or like for me in my mind, like I have to be like, I have to do this. I have this list of tasks that I have to do today, so I have to finish it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm that type of person. So like when it comes to like planning things, it's stressful, but it's also like enjoyable because I get to see, like again, like the structure. Like I love like just organizing things and having compartments for things because it gives me a sense of comfort and like satisfaction Yeah. So, is there anything you like
I think
that you found out?
for me was when I finished the editing part of the first episode and when we put the intro and the outro music, I felt that rush
Mm,
of calmness, like yes,
yeah.
it's done. And the songs we chose for the intro and outro, I really like it. It's really it really brings out our vibe, I think.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why when I saw it in full picture together, stitched together perfectly, I was like, yeah, baby, that's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but also I do enjoy all the conversation we have through this podcast.
Yeah.
Although we do go off topics a lot, especially in the past,
Yes. Mm-hmm.
it's still it's still nice to have this kind of conversations. And I think before we used to meet very often, and I always liked those times because we used to be like, hey, this happened, and they're like, oh, yeah, this happened in my life as well. So it was a fun process, I would say. And yeah, although we haven't met for, yeah, I think it's been a year since we haven't met each other.
It,
Almost a
in
year.
person,
It'll
like
be,
in person.
a,
Yeah.
yeah, it will be a year in this June 20. So,
Wow.
right.
So long
So
ago.
it's like, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So many. Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Sika almost went off topic again.
They not that. Like it's just like
Yeah,
so many things has passed since then. Like it's
yeah.
yeah, but I think like I feel like the whole COVID pandemic thing, even though it was like it's terrible, but like we
Mm-hmm,
I feel like we have been closer because of it, because we
mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
definitely.
even after COVID happened, like we met up almost every week, like every week, like just to talk,
Yeah,
and that's like a cool thing.
yeah.
Anyways, you were saying, sorry.
Because I lost my train of thought. Okay, where was I? Yeah, so this is the behind the scenes, this is the behind
Yes,
the scenes.
this
Yeah,
is
but
the real us.
yes, yeah, I think what I was saying was I just enjoyed the conversation we had, and yeah, it was a fun session because I think we are very introverted people. So if
Yeah.
there wasn't this podcast, I don't think we would have talked that frequently.
Mm. I mean, well, it depends, cause like before we had the podcast, we were speaking like a lot, like we were talking a lot lah, but we
Mm,
it was like it was a bit like different topics. It was much more deep because like I think we kind of related on like our family situation or things in our life, how we're feeling at the moment, things like that. I think we connected a lot on that, so I think regardless of podcast or not, I think we would have been connected, like
oh,
yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I just think we're too lazy.
It could
I
be
think we're too lazy.
yeah, I think okay, if okay, I'll give you that. If like during like the couple of months where you were like kind of like everywhere or like having two things to like many things to like
Hmm.
handle, I
Hmm.
think at that time we would have like lessen a bit lah, talk less a
Yeah,
bit. But since we have the podcast, we
but
had to meet up. Yeah.
but we would always be unified by memes. It's
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, we won't talk with each other,
Yeah.
but we have a group chat with the other friend as well. And what we do is we just send memes. We don't talk, and sometimes we don't even uh, write in the group chat. We just like react to memes, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's like the language. That's the love language between us three.
Yeah. I think it's quite common now, right? Like everyone is like send each other
Mm.
memes, but it's also it's like a brainless activity,
Right,
Yeah,
right.
right. Like after like using your brain a lot, like throughout the day, and then like later on, you just want to relax, and then you just see something funny like a meme, and then you just send to each other, and then I think it's good though, because like we are. connected in that way. Like we still have like conversations and
True.
whatnot. Yeah, with our other
True.
friend,
True.
like yeah, too. So we, yeah. So that, yeah, I agree. Like our conversations are nice. Like it does feel like therapy though. Like for me,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is in a way. It is in a
Mm.
way.
I hope it feels like therapy to you guys too. You're saying?
No, I forgot again.
I think this is us getting old, man. Uh,
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just all. Never mind. Never mind. It's okay. Yeah, but one thing we decided when we started this podcast was we want to keep our identities hidden.
mm,
Yeah. Oh.
um, well, I think there's a couple of reasons for us, right, to keep it hidden. Because again, like okay, we mentioned that we are very introverted, and we're actually very private people in our personal life, like social media wise and whatnot. We don't really post much.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and uh, well, my reasoning for that is just because I'm quite lazy, and also I feel like who really cares much, like I don't really care much to like post as often as I
Mm-hmm.
should be about my personal life, because I think it's like nobody's business. But it's also a second reason why that we kept our like identities like hidden here is because we wanted to have the freedom to speak out our minds without any judgment, because we didn't want people we know in our personal lives to actually know what we are going to talk about in these episodes, because it does
Mm-hmm.
get quite personal. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we don't want to, I guess, offend people that we know if we do speak about them. you know yeah.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna talk about them sometime in the future. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
True.
uh yeah, do you, like, what about you? Do you think like you have a particular reason?
I think it's much of similar to what you described. But another thing is, I don't know. Yeah, we are a very private person, and even among in our social media, we are like the people that we follow and the people that follow us. It's it's usually largely monitored most of the time, I would say. Like we are quite skeptical about who to follow and who not to follow and who to allow to who to allow as a
Yeah.
follower and those kind of things. And
Yeah.
I feel that being in a public platform like this is a very huge jump. And I think usually, I'm not sure if you feel that or not, but when you're anonymous, you feel much more comfortable to let your thoughts out, like what Sika said. But if
Mm-hmm.
I were to let my identity known, then it would feel, to be honest, like as much as I did not hope it to be like that, but I would still feel very uncomfortable letting my stories out, I would say. So,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Yeah,
good thing
I feel
about
the same. Mm-hmm.
that's why I like Reddit. 'Cause it's like so
Yeah,
anonymous. Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, yeah. Because like I think we once we kind of expose our identities, is like we we let people know, like like there's an image that we uphold in our personal life,
Mm-hmm.
so like being anonymous gives us the chance to just not be ourselves. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we are ourselves, but we can be more open, like
Mm-hmm.
more ourselves than we can be like if we are in our personal life. Because um it's not that we don't have any people to confide in, our thoughts or whatnot. It's just that we want to share our perspective, because I think
Mhm.
we have different perspective and experiences
Mhm.
and backgrounds,
Mhm.
because we both are from quite even though we both kind of grew up in a quite uh
Yeah,
traditional
conservative.
Asian household. Yeah,
Conservative.
quite conservative. Yeah, but we personally are very like open-minded,
Mhm.
and we are quite different
Mhm.
than our family, how our family
Mhm.
knows us. So we we wanted to share this perspective so we can find people that have the same opinions as us, or like give a different opinion to other people, because we have different thoughts in our the way that we studied as well. Like
Mhm.
the reason why we chose psychology is because we wanted a different perspective,
Mhm.
and I think that actually broadened our viewpoint in our life.
Mhm.
And we grew up in many different backgrounds. I feel like
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
went to yeah, you had many chances of like going to a foreign country to study, right?
Mhm.
But that also gave you a chance to meet a lot of people and gain a lot of
Mhm.
experience and perspective. Yeah. And for me, I grew up in a foreign country, and I moved back to my home country, and that gave me a totally different perspective too, because I went from the country that I used to live in was very very conservative and very very traditional. So I when I moved away to quote unquote my home country, is it gave me a different like mindset. Definitely, like I definitely noticed that I am an outsider in my own country. You know what
Mhm.
I mean?
Mhm.
So yeah, from that I think I have a different viewpoint from other people that I am
Mhm.
surrounded with. Yeah. So
Mhm. Definitely.
yeah. So that's why like we kind of like kept it quite we okay we that's why we started this podcast specifically, I think.
Mhm.
um yeah.
Yeah. We
What
just
now?
want to keep it simple. Yeah. And not involve
Mm.
anyone and make it a safe space, I would say.
So throughout many things that we talked about, I think we have made a couple of changes. And I think we in the first episode we didn't actually
Mhm.
have a structure, so we didn't actually mention like what our episode structure would be. So I think we should explain it a little bit more.
There are three main factors that we're focusing on. So the first one is chill pill. So chill pill is just full of conversations like this. So it could be something that we could relate to directly, and it's coming more from our own experience, and just a very normal topic that you don't have to put much stress on, and it's more of opinion like what we are doing right now. And another segment is called soul reflection, and what we do there is we talk about movies or
Mm-hmm.
K-dramas or any series that touches our soul and changes our perspective in some
Yeah,
ways.
and it can be any form of media, I guess, like that yeah,
Yeah.
that piqued our interest.
So it's more towards reflecting on our own end, on our behavior, on our thoughts, our perspective towards life or experiences in general. So it's living through others' experiences that's showcased in a digital media.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where we are taking references from for our soul reflection, for us to reflect and grow. And the third one is a book. So this one is also more focused towards the learning area. So what we do is we are making a habit of reading books as more towards growth and learning centered
Yeah.
books that would allow us to expand our perspective in different way as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Stika has a Kindle and I have my currently a hard copy, or sometimes I use laptop, so or audiobook. And what we do is we try to learn how to like we try to learn how to move through life, I would say, through these books.
Mhm.
It's more of because we're still new to adulting
Mm.
and we are still finding our direction.
Mhm.
So having something that would challenge our previous set mindset.
Mhm.
So yeah, previous set mindset, we're just trying to bring that in and discuss more on it while relating it to our own experience, I would say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we want to see how it can be applied to our life as well.
Mhm.
So these are the three main segments that we have, and we yeah, so far we would be focusing on this at least in this first season.
Mhm. Now another thing is, I mean, we post highlights. We label it as highlights, but it's more like a teaser to our new episode. So like every week before our episode release, that we would give out this teaser highlight videos. So it'll be like a preview to our full episode. So that's the things that's what highlights are. Sorry. So we kind of like set our episodes this way because we wanted more, again, like structure, but it's also it gives us like freedom as well lah. Because in chill pill we don't really have a set topic, I would say. It's more like we kind of like, hang out and chill and talk, and maybe do a therapy session. So
Hmm.
yeah. So that's the reason, one of the reason why that we had it structured that way. And um soul reflection is, again, like how Dima explained, like we just want to grow ourselves, and we wanted to give us freedom as well, because we wanted to explore different things, like a book or movie or whatever. So it's more fun for us because we can share things that we liked, and it's more interesting in our life, like, so we can stay updated as well, we can stay updated in the new shows or
Hmm.
whatever that's happening around, and we can talk about it. And we wanted to also give the chance that if you like, certain topics or whatnot, it'll give us it'll give you guys, our listeners, to relate to our conversations as well. So you can chime in, you can even email us if you want to give your opinion if you're not comfortable in commenting on our videos. So feel free to give us your opinion, and maybe we might make a future episode on that, like on what you guys think on the TV shows that we are going to talk about, or the movie that we're going to talk about, or the book, anything. So so on that note, we have come to the end of our episode.
Yeah.
It's very fun. I hope you guys learned something, and I hope you guys learned something about us as well. And do follow us on our Facebook page, our Instagram, and even our YouTube. We post all our full episodes on YouTube and Facebook, and you can finally listen to us on Spotify as well. So thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a good night, and bye bye.